On today's episode, we're going to show you how to make more money fast. Welcome to your Consulting Business Podcast. My name is Russell Pearson and this is episode number 75. Today on the show, we're going to talk about making more money as a consultant and how you can do it faster than what most people are doing. In fact, it flies in the face of how most consultants are running their business. You know, I was actually running my business very much like most consultants out there, and if you are doing these mistakes right now, then it's important that you understand what they are and the changes you can make to actually be making far more money in a much shorter period of time. When I started my consulting journey, I was thinking referrals. As most people do, I'm waiting on referrals, or I'm asking for referrals, or I'm looking at ways to actually bring referrals into my business. And what that was doing is it meant that I was giving my power over to someone else and hoping that they will send someone my way. Now, referrals are great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with referrals. That means that someone likes you enough or trusts you enough to actually send someone your way. Now, that doesn't mean that you're great, but often it can mean that you're doing a good enough job that someone feels comfortable sharing your information or sharing that you can help this other person out. But the problem with referrals is that you need to wait for them. So if you need to grow your business fast, and I can tell you that in the past there are times when I've gone, I need to make $250,000 pretty quick, or something has happened within the business and I need to build it up in a fast way so that I don't need to be at the mercy of what's going out there in the market. So rather than waiting on referrals and rather than always needing a referral to come into your business, the mindset is that you can actually select any client that comes your way, but you still need to be able to put out something that's going to be attractive to bring them in. Now, am I talking about marketing? Am I talking about sales? What I'm actually talking about is offers. The more offers you make, the more client opportunities you get. And don't forget, as I said before, client opportunities does not mean they're opportunities that you need to take. It's always better to have an abundance of opportunities from prospects than it is to actually have not enough. And that's the problem with relying on referrals alone, is that often there's this scarcity of I'm waiting for my next client to come in instead of having 10 to 20 opportunities in front of me and I get to choose which ones I want to work with. Now, offers, the key in offers is how you make them. And this is not about putting out an offer to say, you know, I've got $100 thing or buy my book or anything ridiculous like this. An offer is simply an invitation. And if you think about your consulting practice, there are a couple of steps that people need to go through before they become clients. They start as strangers, then they move to potentially being leads, someone who could use what you've got, to prospects, someone who you believe should use what you've got, to potentially customers, which means from time to time they might do a little bit of work with you, to clients, which is someone that you spend time actually supporting or guiding or helping get to whatever level or next stage that they need to do in their lives or in their business. So the steps are important, but at each of the steps, there should be some form of invitation, which is an offer. And so how do you go about structuring these invitations or offers to help people take steps into your world? Remembering that the first step is that they're a stranger. So how do you even make that first offer to make people aware that you're existing and enable them to take an easy first step into your world? Well, an offer, an effective offer, actually is made up of 4 simple steps. In fact, they're 4 simple sentences that I learned years ago, and I think they came from Frank Kern, but I can't necessarily say that that's exactly where they came from. But these 4 simple sentences have been the backbone of all the offers and invitations that I've now made as a consultant. And so I still do very much consulting where I'm helping businesses get where they need to go, but I've also got all sorts of other offers where people come and work with me in group fashions. I do training, I do program work and things like that. So the scope of how consulting is delivered has changed. And you as a consultant get to choose what style of consultant you want to be. The great thing that I've enabled myself be able to do now to be able to do now, is to actually work within this space, which means that I don't tend to go out into the world too often because I really enjoy being at home. So that's a fantastic opportunity that this business has given me to have the flexibility and freedom to work where and when I want. And so I want to give you these 4 simple sentences so that you can actually create offers for yourself. So sentence number 1, here's what I've got. So it's the container phrase. What have I got that people can say yes to? Do I have a guide? This is like early days. Maybe it's like a lead magnet or something like of that nature that people stumble across. Have I got a guide? Have I got a course? Have I got an event? Have I got a service? Right? It could be a service, but early days when someone's a stranger, they may not be ready to buy yet. So those early days are more a case of them becoming aware and exploring with you. So I've got a podcast, could be another one. Right? So what have I got? So the first sentence is, here's what I've got. The second sentence, you learn to speak, Pearson. The second sentence is, here's what it does for you. This is the result sentence. This is the result that you're going to be giving to the person when they take the offer. So if it's an event, what are they going to get from the event? If it's a service, what outcome is it going to provide them? If it's a product or whatever it might be, what will it do for them? And so what is the result? So number 1, what have I got? What's the container? Number 2, what is the result that they're going to get by saying yes to your invitation? Number 3, here's how it does that. So the first sentence, here's what I've got. Second sentence, here's what it does for you. Number 3, here's how it does that. Now these are the whats that sit inside the result. So what does it do to enable it to do what it needs to do? This is not detail. This is not we're going to do X amount of sessions and we're going to spend this much time. It's not those things. It's going to be, these are the 3 steps. Could be 2 steps, could be 1 step. It's the secret sauce. But here is the 3 steps that we need to do to get your business to flow and work effectively. So if it was me talking about my business, and I'll just give you an example, right? So I run a business program called The Forge. So the question number 1, what have I got? I've got a business program called The Forge, right? And number 2, what does it do for you? It helps you get clients, right? That's as simple as that. That is the result. It helps you get clients for your consulting business. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, how does it do that? Well, number 1, we help you get clarity on how you're going to build your business. Number 2 is we help you get consistent quality prospects, so you've got an abundance of those prospects coming into your business. And step number 3, we help you close and get great at sales, so it's not a case of you saying yes, or not a case of a customer saying yes to you. It's you auditioning and actually selecting the clients you want to work with. So that's how we do it, right? So 3 steps. Number 4, and the final one that wraps it all up, is here's how you get it. All right, so what is the call to action? What do they need to do to get it? So for instance, with The Forge, what they need to do is they need to apply. All right, where can they apply? Well, they actually have to reach out to me because this is not one that's available online or anything. But for your one, it could be you could click a download button, or you could actually email me, or you can get on a waiting list, or whatever it might be. But what is the specific step they need to do to get it? So number 1, here's what I've got. Number 2, here's what it does for you. Number 3, here's how it does that. Number 4, here's how you get it. So these simple sentences are incredibly powerful because what they enable you to do is they enable you to create offers at every stage of the process with your prospective clients. They also enable you to continue to make offers with the client when you've helped them reach the first horizon. They may be wanting to go further. You can make an offer on, let's get you to the next horizon, and on further and further and further. And so that's how you can create a lifetime of clients and customers, is to be looking at what is the next offer that I really need to be making, or what is the next invitation that I need to make to enable people to walk into my world. Now, those 4 steps are quite simple, but I've got an extra special bonus set which will enable you to say, is this any good? Is the offer I'm making going to be effective? Now, before I give you these steps, and there are 5 of them if I recall, I want to make a caveat, which is you don't know if the offer is effective. You will never know if the offer is effective until you test it in the market, which means that you need to go out and ask people if they would like it. I like to start very simple. I like to start manually. I don't put Google ads, I don't put Facebook ads or anything like that behind any initial offers that I'm doing. I'll only put paid ads if I ever use paid ads, and I don't use paid ads that often. But the only time I'll put it behind paid ads if I know there's an effective offer that will go to a broader audience. Right? But mainly I'm working directly with consultants, ideally just like you, and helping them grow their business. But if I want to assess, first, if I want to know if it's a good offer, I've got to get it to market. So I'll ask 10 people whether they're interested in it, and if at least 3 of them say yes, then I go, okay, I've got something there. If more say yes, then it's probably pretty good. If less say yes, I need to work on the wording. Because the thing with offers is it's not what's inside. If you think of a can, and you got a can at the supermarket, and it doesn't have a label on it, right? You wouldn't know what was inside. It could be dog food, or it could be some amazing canned fruit or something like that. But you don't know without the label. So the offer is just a label, and that label can be changed. So if no one is accepting your offer, it's not what's in the can, it's what's on the label. Once they've actually experienced what's in the can, in other words, they've come and joined you in your service or your product or your program, then based off retention and based off feedback, then you can say whether the inside is any good or not. But at the start, all you can work on is the label. So you need that market feedback. But there are some steps that you can put in place to enable you to see, is my offer going to be relatively effective? So these steps I put in are things that enable you to improve your offer even before it goes to market. So the process I use is SMART. SMART. And this is something you may be familiar with because a lot of people use SMART goals. I really don't like creating SMART goals. There are all sorts of reasons why I don't create SMART goals. And we can talk about that in another video or another podcast. But the reason I like the concept of SMART is you can actually apply it to offers to say, can I improve this offer? And so the first one, which is S, is specific. Is the offer specific? Is it clear what the result is that they're getting? Is it clear what the container is, right? Is it, if I said this offer to people, do they go, I don't understand it, or is it clear? Is it specific enough? So that's S, is specific. Then we've got M, which is measurable. Is the offer measurable? Now, this one can be challenging for some people because they think as consultants that everything that they're doing needs to be bespoke, or everything that they're doing can't be measured. But when you've actually got some real expertise and you've got some real experience behind you, you can start looking at the clients that are in front of you and say, I can see how to get you 20% better result. I can see how we can actually take you from this financial situation to this financial situation. You don't have to make big promises. You can actually make quite small promises, and some of those small promises are even more effective. But I know, for instance, if you put me in front of a consultant who has capacity to take some clients on, I can help them get 2 to 3 new clients, right? I know that I can help them do that, even if it comes down to me doing some of the engagement for them. I know that that's possible. Now, that's not how I work, and I help people get good at actually able to get clients themselves, teach a man to fish. And when I do that, those people actually transform into better communicators, better consultants, because at the end of the day, part of the consulting journey is helping other people make decisions within organizations, within their own lives, whatever it might be. So if you're good at doing the consulting part, you are good at doing the sales part as well. But that's specific, there's measurable, right? I'll help you get 2 to 3 new clients, right? Or I will help you find 1 new retainer opportunity in your existing list, and then we'll talk about in the next 15 minutes, for instance, because I can have a 15-minute call with you and I can show you where that is. But the measurability is like, how do you measure the result? So that's the M. A, is it achievable? Achievable is more a case of, do they believe that it's achievable? Is it realistic? And you can look at your offer and say, is this outside of their realm of possibility, or do they see this as, yes, that's quite reasonable, that it is achievable? Now, the example is someone going from I've got no money or I've just started my business to creating $1 million consultancy. There's a fair distance between those two worlds. And so it may be easier to say, I will help you, they're just starting, I will help you get your first client rather than get $1 million worth of clients. The achievable is in the eye of the beholder, but I would usually talk to my market and go, what have they done before? But what are they having trouble with in that space? And I'll help them go for, okay, that's something I've done before, so I understand it, and now you're helping me take the next step. That's where achievable becomes really, really strong. So that's S, M, A. Now we're R. Is this relevant? Is it relevant to the audience we're talking to? Because sometimes we think our stuff is fantastic, but the audience does not relate, right? And part of that is sometimes we don't even name the audience it's for. So if I said, I'll help you get more customers, customers isn't a relative term. It's not a relevant term for consultants. Ideally, we want to help them get clients, because the clients that they will work with is really the part of why they're in business. Customers tends to be more of a word that you would use for business to consumer. Maybe it's like a retail store or something like that. But we tend to use clients or consulting opportunities in that space to make it more relevant. But what is it for your specific client? What is relevant for them? Also, is it within their field of view? Sometimes people can't think because they've got so much in front of them, and you're trying to show them some brave new future that they don't have eyes for because they're currently in overwhelm. How can you look at what they're overwhelmed with, what's currently on their plate, and help them take some stuff off the plate so it frees up some room to breathe, frees up some room to think? Like, how do you enable them to get out of that overwhelm so that you can help them to go to the new future? So that's a large part of making it relevant as well. Is it something that they can even take advantage of right now? And the final one, T, so SMART, is time-based. Is this offer got a time around it? So for instance, with the one referral opportunity in your list, I can help you find that in 15 minutes. Okay, that's an example. Another one could be, we'll just take something like that's been around for a long time, weight loss, or I will help you lose the last 5 kilos. This was an offer I saw once upon a time that was a fantastic offer. We'll help you take your last 5 kilos in the next 2 months. Right? So this is for those people who've lost a certain amount of weight, but they've just got still that 5 nagging kilos that they want to get rid of. Now, there are plenty of people in the health consulting space, and those things are relevant. And I know that there are a lot of health consultants that are like, I don't want to mess with the weight thing, and I don't want to talk about just pain and chronic pain. I want to actually talk about health. I want to talk about proactive health. But you've got to remember, the people are often stuck in this space where they are, and they can't see the opportunity to get out here to this much bigger, broader, toward space. And so they're very much stuck in this area of, I've got a problem that needs fixing. As an effective consultant, my suggestion is to help them fix that thing, to help them get out of that area. Then you can actually lead them to a better world. So, the first 4 simple sentences. Here's what I've got. Here's what it does for you. Here's how it does that, and here's how you get it. And then we use specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based to actually make our offers more effective. Hopefully that's been incredibly helpful for you. I would like to hear the sort of offers that you would make. What are the things that you would actually like to put out there into the world? Put them in the chat. What are the people you want to get in front of? You never know. You might put that offer there in the comments and someone comes along and sees it and goes, that's what I've been looking for. Why not? So put it in the comments. I would love to see where you're at with this topic, and I hope that this has been very, very useful, because this is something that you should be using on a daily basis. You can use this offer mechanism, yes, to help people go from strangers to clients, but when you've got clients, you can also help them make decisions or invite them to take steps using the same framework. If you've liked what you've seen today, subscribe for more episodes just like this. We bring at least one out every single week. If you liked it, give us a like. If you didn't, give us a thumb down. I don't mind. Interact with us. Let us know how we're going. I'd love to get a review. If you're listening to this on the podcast, the audio podcast, you can actually put in a review, and we'd love to hear from the audience because we know there's plenty of people out there and we want to hear from you. If you're interested to know more about what I'm doing, you can always go to russellpearson.com. That's Russell Pearson, double S, double L, the way Russell should be spelled. And if you are interested in maybe entering our world, we now have an intake open for the Guild, which is a consulting guild. And that consulting guild really is designed around helping our members build a more successful consulting practice. And so if you're interested in actually joining a community that is doing all that together, you can reach out to us, or you can go to theconsultingguild.com. Till next time, my name is Russell Pearson. Stay passionate, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.